let's look at the Google Calendar. This is another collaborative tool that you can use with your students or they can use on their own. And it's really handy because it's also located on the internet, so you can access it from anywhere as well as from your BingleWeb. Right now we're looking at the front of the Google Calendar site. So we just typed in google.com and there it was under the list of possible Google items. And you can see it offers up different things. You can share your schedule, get your calendar on the go. These are the explanations of why you might use Google Calendar. It's pretty easy. So let's go ahead and access that. I have an account. In fact, I'll show you where to find it from the BingleWeb. And once you click in your Gmail and open that, then you will notice up here in the upper left corner there's a number of things that Google does, and one of them is the calendar. And I've got that already open over here, so I'm going to click on this tab and show you just a sample of a calendar. And you can see the squares are different colors, and you notice that the red squares are basically my planning notes so that I understand where I'm supposed to be at what time. I've got some evening times here and a class that meets once a week in the evening on Thursday. So those are my notes. Now the one that I would share would be the office hours, and those are the ones that you see in blue, and those are the ones I want my students to be able to see when they know that they can phone call or email me, or they can walk into the office and we can sit down and have a discussion. So that kind of shows them when is available for them. They don't have to write me an email or any kind of other note to find out. They can just access my calendar. So let's look now to see how you get this to work with your other calendars. So I would click over here on my office hours and I would look down to calendar settings. You can see the other selections that are here. You could display only this one, hide this calendar, share this calendar, calendar settings. Let's look at the settings first. Okay, we've got basically the description of the calendar, what the location, if there's a different location that you'd like to enter, the mountain time zone, all those nice things. And then if you want to paste this into a website so that it will appear there, here's the code already generated for you. You can just cut and copy this right into a website. You can put it into your Google site for that matter. It's really easy to work with. Cut and paste. Scroll down a little further. Save those things if you wanted to make some changes. In this case, I don't have any to make, but I'll click Save anyway because I know it'll bring me back out to the front. About that sharing, here's a share this calendar. At this point, I can click here to share this calendar with others, and you can see that immediately it pops up to say share this calendar with everyone in the organization at Idaho State University. So there's a lot of different settings that you can choose, and you can share it with specific people as well by entering their email address. And that's kind of handy if you have a group of students that you are advising and need a little bit more information than maybe your general class students. They can then see a different calendar. Okay, let's go back. So we'll cancel that out and we don't need to save those changes. So here is a situation also where you can add a separate calendar. I can click this and I can come up with work group. Okay, and I might want to share this with others. I could click here. I could say share it with everybody here or not. At this time, since this is live, we're not going to share that right now. A specific person, I can enter their email address in here. Say I had a work group of only 2 or 3. Okay, and then I can just say create calendar. And you notice that I've got a new work group calendar here that's blue. Okay, now for me to work on that, I click display only this calendar. And now maybe our work group times are only from, say, 10 until 2. And I can create that event. Now you notice that there's only one color lit up over here, and that's just the work group one. If I'd like all the calendars to show at once so I can see how my work schedule will overlap one of the other, I simply just click the ones I want to show. And now it's getting kind of colorful, and you can select different colors if you'd like. But you can see how if you were to share your other calendars with others, they could overlay their own and then figure out which will work for a scheduling situation. So that's my quick tour of the calendar in Google. And again, you can access that through the Idaho State University Gmail, or you can go out into the Google world and just click Google Calendars and find your calendar there by creating an account separately. Thanks for listening.